As we watch this intro sequence, as a cannonball gets shot on a glove, which shot something else, which shot something else, which cut the road, and allowed the windmill to be flipped. And this is the credit cast, but we won't watch that anyways. This is the Incredible Machine, this is my new project. And I was tired playing some puzzle games. I decided that I needed to play another puzzle game in order to make me feel content about this. So this is, you always wanted to do some kind of Rube Goldberg machine stuff. This game is for you. It's a puzzle game where you have to adjust a Rube Goldberg machine to accomplish certain objectives in the game. But without any wait, let's go and try this first stage right here, where you have to go and do the alley-hoo with the basketball. Those are tutorials, but the levels get much harder later, and you have certain objects that you have to use in order for the things to work. These are mice inside cages. You use them to power something else. These are cables. You use them for the power to do something else, basically. Phew! And this is the first one, and we get passwords for some reason, but I don't think they're gonna be used. And you can always replay your solution if you think it's super clever. So this is a tutorial where it shows you that you can flip the thing over in order to, because if it's not flipped, the ball will just plain go outside, and you don't want that to happen. So, in order to do that, you do this. And you get some bonus points as well. And we can replay. Oh man. Okay. And I always liked the soundtrack of this game. I wanted to LP it for so long, but couldn't find a version with a proper working soundtrack, since this game was working back on DOS, not even on, and this can't proper work on Windows 7, but I found a version that is compatible. But anyways, so the goal here is to pop the balloons. So something that will pop the balloon is a cog, and also is a pair of scissors. So in order to pop the balloons, you just need to create some wind. And by doing so, the balloon will be directed towards the scissors and the things that pop the things. Yeah. And that's it. Oh man, that's my favorite track, so we're gonna listen to it, man. Want some Western rodeo? This is to restart if you think you've screwed yourself and don't want to just flat out replace the things in your inventory. This is to select the puzzles, and this is to actually do a Rube Goldberg machine on your own with all the objects at your disposition. But there we're doing the puzzles themselves. But I might actually make a Rube Goldberg machine as some kind of bonus content, and also by doing that you can alter the gravity and air pressure of the stage, which makes the objects react differently and in some funny ways. Anyways, what you have to do here is be pretty simple. You make the whole flip a thing flip, so that ultimately everything bounces that way, and make the bowling ball fall. Bing! Bingo!
Phew!
Phew! Let's do something else now. Oh man, we gotta box things! It's Boxing Day, everyone! So these punching things go through the walls for some reason. Don't question the logic of this game sometimes, but it's pretty good. Overall, it's pretty good physics for a game this old, it came out in the, like I said, in the DOS days, so we can punch the Solada. This one I never get on my first try. So the goal is to make this guy spin in his cage. Yeah, I've done it wrong. Yeah, I could never place it correctly the first time, for some reason. And there we go, Morton the mouse. And Saturn is the password, because that ball went to Saturn and came back with the rings. This is why it has some rings painted on it. That's the Saturn rings that got painted, right? And thankfully this mouse was in a cage. So we need to kill Bob the Fish there. So this guy will pop up the ball. So this thing will have to pop up this thing as well. And the bowling ball will land on this to make the thing pop. So those are still tutorials, pretty easy stuff. And there we go. And I'm the king because this guy decided that he was. And that, whatever the fuck this ball is, I think it's a tennis ball actually. So I think we're gonna end after the tutorials. Oh man, we popped the balloon. Ba-da-ba. We must flip the windmills in order to make the ball roll in the right direction. I think this is correct. If I want to do this stuff is pretty great for you. The ball is gonna be knocked down by the thing that's... Now, note that this tennis ball would bounce off the wall, so I don't exactly know where it will end up. Yes, it did. Okay. And this was a dragon, because dragons have wings, and so does the windmills. Oh man. Lower all 3 buckets. By so. So what you want to do here is make this guy bounce on the scissor there, and the scissor will work here as well. Pretty easy stuff. And there were ants in the buckets, you couldn't see them because of the 2-dimension, because the engine wasn't performant enough to allow 3D to be realistic enough. But there were ants in the buckets, and poor buckets, they were full of water, so the ants were drowning, which is why we wanted to lower them, because the guy is as tall as a baseball. So he couldn't reach the buckets in order to empty them up, the water, to free the ants from the peril. Shoot all 3 guns. This one is kind of difficult though, because the ropes, whenever yeah, oh, that totally worked. But the ropes work pretty strangely, actually. There we go. And the password is baseball, because you couldn't see it, but there was a baseball hidden off screen there, and the poor thing would have been pierced by a bullet there. I got 539 bonus points there. I'm sure that number is meaningful, and I saved the balloon there by time suspension, because you couldn't see it, but there's an invisible pair of scissors there, and I can cut the thing and actually free the balloon before starting back time. It's pretty fancy device there. So we need to turn on all the fans. To do so by switching the things on. The initial state of all plugs is off. Okay. So in order to do that, basically, we do that. We switch that thing around. I think it's not plugged yet. There we go. In order for it to be plugged, we need to see a little plug thing. I know that's wonderful. Oh man!
Phew.
There we go, I got 443 points. I'm sure that number is wonderful. Okay, I think we're gonna end this episode here. And tell me what you guys think of this project. I think it's pretty fun. This will be about generators and motors, but we're gonna see that in the next video. Oh man, that was so JB-ish. I'm sure JB loves this game. I'm sure he does, because he loves puzzles. That was a joke. This is rockdet sign out, see you soon!